My name is Ellie and I'm a self-proclaimed Groovalutionary. The other day I was listening to a podcast with Ariana Huffington on it, and she was talking about decision fatigue. She was talking about all the ways that it affects performance. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but before we do, I'm going to make one decision for you, and that is to hit the subscription bell and the notification button so that you and I can spark a Groovalution together. With only 60 minutes in an hour, it's important to protect our decision-making power. And what Ariana kept on going back to is about keeping it simple. Keep it simple, sexy, actually. She was talking a lot about the kinds of decisions that we have to make with regularity, but oftentimes get pushed to the wayside. For instance, nutrition. When you make decisions about your nutrition and your meals ahead of time, it removes the decision fatigue that comes when you are starving and you're in a spot that you might not be able to get the kinds of food that really fuel you. So that means that if you're traveling to a particular place and you understand that there won't be sustenance, you might think about bringing a protein bar or making sure you have extra water or having that salad already made in your refrigerator so that then on a busy day you don't have to assemble. That was a really important thing for her because she says that without that, then you don't have the fuel to really go forth and make decisions from a grounded and strong place. The second thing she talked about was dressing. And she talked about how sometimes when she goes on trips, she will very often bring the same silhouette and just change her shoes and her earrings and an accessory, because this way she can spend the time that she's on the business trip doing her business. It's the right thing. She's already decided that that silhouette suits her. She feels good in it. She knows that she needs to make some basic adjustments, but that decision's been made. Another really great example I thought was just having aligned bylaws, having particular boundaries, personal boundaries that help you make other decisions. You will not be fatigued. You will know what is right for you when you create boundaries. So an example of how that plays out in my life is I don't take phone calls before 10 a.m. It is very unusual that I need to talk to somebody before 10 a.m. And the people who are closest to me know that that is a boundary I set. Another way to avoid decision fatigue by setting ironclad boundaries is by organizing yourself in such a way that everything has its place. I have a problem with glasses. I love glasses and I have many of them. Sometimes I leave them in the living room. Sometimes I leave them in the kitchen. Sometimes they're left in my office. Well, you can see where this is going. This is not a good thing. But when I commit to keeping my glasses in one place, every time I see them around the house, I bring them back to the same place, so that therefore I don't have to spend 20 minutes a day looking for other glasses, because the minute that they're found, they're put back in their one spot. Another way to maintain boundaries is to only respond to social media or your email for a set time each day. You don't have to check in to your email 500 times a day. You don't have to check your phone 500 times a day. And the final and probably most significant share was her commitment, Ariana Huffington's commitment, to a morning and an evening ritual. When you know what's happening in the morning and you know what's happening in the evening, then all the other details really fall into place with ease. You don't have to think about the wind down. You don't have to think about the build. I personally have like a 5-hour morning routine. I wake up at 5:45 in the morning and people think I am nuts. However, I believe that those hours are the most prime time for me. There is a quiet, I can write, I can exercise, I can go out. I know that I'm going to be undisturbed with headline news and any kind of extraneous social media bombardment. And I also do that at the end of the evening. Ariana Huffington has even gone so far as to create a bed for her cell phones. She actually sells a product that is an actual bed where you can actually charge your cell phones, to actually put your devices to bed. And I think that's a little extreme. Forgive the judgment, Miss A, but I will say that it's a great way to deliver the message that even your cell phone needs a rest. And so the moral of the story is, what we learned at the Groovalution once again today is that the most positive thing that you can do for yourself is to stay in tune with yourself. My name is Ellie Venn. I'm a self-proclaimed Groovalutionary. Tell me what you do to stay in tune and avoid decision fatigue.